Are you a stressed out mom or dad? Well, listen up, because our next guest says you can get your child to listen and behave without becoming the parent you hate. She's an award-winning parenting expert, family physician, author, and mother of 4. Please welcome Dr. Deborah Gilboa to the show.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. G. I'm so happy to be here.
And so, since she is here, we're going to tackle some of your biggest parenting complaints and questions with a prop we created. This is called, Deborah, the Wheel of Wah! So, Dr. G, Dr. O is going to spin the wheel.
Excellent.
Shall we give it a spin?
Yeah.
Wheel of
Mighty wheel. Wah! All right, what's coming up for Dr. G? Lazy bones.
Lazy
What do you do?
I do. I hear this from parents a lot. You know, oh, sure, my kids should help, but then I just have to nag them and remind them, and they don't do it. We can start kids being responsible when they're so young they still want to help, right? 18-month-old, 2 years old. I do it. Mommy, I help. Great. So we give them responsibilities as early as we can. The trick is don't do it again right after them, because then they realize, oh, I didn't actually need to do this. But there's lots of things even really little kids can do. I make my kids do chores starting very young. As a matter of fact, some big chores. My kids are here today. If you want to ask them, they'll tell you.
No, I heard that you all learned how to do chores at a really early age.
Like what kind of stuff?
For 2 years, I've been doing laundry, and then recently I'm doing my lunches for the entire family.
Really?
I just did lunches for school like Gabby's doing now, but then when he had his birthday, I empty the dishwasher every night after it was run.
Nice.
So I've done laundry, and then lunches, and then the dishwasher, and now I make dinner once a week.
Hey, what's your favorite meal to make?
So actually, the first thing I made was spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. And I made a Caesar salad as well.
Good for you. All right, let's spin that wheel again, Drew. We learned so much on lazy bones.
Gotta move on.
Oh,
You are the meanest mom ever.
I am. You want to spin again? Listen, parents are under a lot of pressure to make our kids our friends, to make them happy all the time, but that's not actually the metric of good parenting. The metric of good parenting is, are my kids growing? Are they learning? And nobody grows when they're comfortable, right? Nobody learns when everything is super easy and we're making them happy all the time. I want to give my kids the skills that they need to be happy as adults, and the goal is to be friends with them when they're adults, not to try and be friends with them now. So one of the tricks is you do have to give your kids consequences when they behave in ways that you don't want, because life gives consequences, but so that you don't feel like the meanest parent and they don't feel like you are, you have to come back and reconcile with them. After they got in trouble and they've said, yeah, I did that, and they suffer through sitting on the bench or, you know, or not going to the party or whatever, is to sit down and without saying, I wish I hadn't given you that consequence, just say, hey, but I understand that you're being a 13-year-old kid, and I still love you, and I hope you understand that you're important.
You're teaching accountability, responsibility, consequences.
Right, but you got to come back together.
Discipline, and if you do it the right way,
none of them would ever say that.
It comes off as love.
All right, Drew, we don't have much time, but I do want one more spin of that wheel. Wah.
I want to go all day long here.
Oh boy.
All right.
Okay.
The battle of the bedtime.
There's one answer to this, and it's routine, right? Kids, the same reason that kids want to eat the same food or watch the same TV show over and over, they need to know exactly what to expect. And it can be in anybody's house. Kids don't always go to bed in the same home each night. That's okay. But if they get, for example, a story, a bedtime wish, and a song, and then they're in their bed, and that's it, it's the same every single night, that really helps. And if they like that part, then you say, hey, I hope you'll brush your teeth quickly and get in your pajamas, because then we'll get to do all those really fun things.
I love it. These are such great tips, and you actually came with a special surprise for our audience.
I did. So as a parent myself, I don't have time to read really, really long parenting books that are mostly philosophy. I want strategies and tips. As a family doctor, that's what my parents want in the office want too, but how do I get them to take the medicine? So I wrote 3 little books that are 50 different tips by developmental stage about teaching kids to be respectful, to be responsible, to be resilient. And they are for 2 to 4-year-olds or 5 to 7-year-olds, all the way up to age 17, and everybody in the audience is going to go home with all 3.
Wow, that's great. We really appreciate it.